So let's talk about some of these. Board of directors. Apple had a very decent group of people as the board of directors. They worked very, very hard for Apple. But I think with Apple in the situation it finds itself, it was time for a change. And the directors agreed with that. We have put together a new board of directors that I would like to announce to you today. There are two members of the prior board that we are extremely pleased are going to stay on the new board. The first of those is Ed Woolard. Ed is the chairman and former CEO of DuPont. I've gotten to know Ed over the last several weeks, and I think he's terrific and has provided a tremendous amount of leadership during this very critical time for Apple. Next is Gareth Chang. Gareth is the president of Hughes International. Again, he's been on the Apple board for a short while, and Gareth brings a tremendous international experience to Apple, in particular in Asia, which is a very important market and a high-growth market for Apple. And then we're going to add 4 new board members. The rest of the prior board has resigned, and we're going to add 4 new board members to carry the company forward. The first is Larry Ellison, CEO of Oracle. I hope that wasn't a boo I'm hearing. Larry started Oracle in his garage about a year after we started Apple. It's grown to be the second largest software company in the world. We would like to do a lot more in terms of software, and we thought having some software industry expertise would be a good idea on the board. Second board member, Jerry York, former CFO of IBM and Chrysler. Jerry did a lot of the turnaround work at Chrysler and IBM, and is extremely well known and respected in the financial community for his work. The third new board member is Bill Campbell, CEO of Intuit. Bill, in addition to being CEO of Intuit, was formerly the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Apple during some of its heyday, and also ran Claris, and is very familiar with some of the successes and some of the failures that Apple has had, and I think he'll be an extremely good board member. And lastly, I am joining the board as well. I'd like to just take a moment and thank the outgoing board members. I think it has not been an easy job to be a board member of Apple over the last few years, and these are very decent people, and they've been trying very hard to do the right thing for the company. And to welcome our new board members, I think we have a really exciting task ahead of us to help the management team and guide Apple back to health and to prosperity. And so I hope you'll agree that this is a pretty sweeping change. We're adding a tremendous amount of industry expertise. We are not naming a chairman at this time. We're going to wait till we have a new CEO and sort things out when that happens at that time. Now, I put together a little video. If you'd like, I'll show it to you. That just we asked the board members a few questions, and you can just maybe get a little familiar with them. Would you like to see it? Let's go ahead and roll that.
The old board has been associated with the past, and the past has been failure. A new board brings hope.
The new group of people on the Apple board are all computer insiders. We've all been in the computer industry.
Everyone knows that the computer industry changes at the speed of light. Now we have people who clearly can help us articulate and understand where the niches are, where Apple can compete and successfully win.
So a lot of times we try to focus on ourselves, re-engineer ourselves internally, and we forgot sometimes who pays the bills. It's the customer out there pays the bills.
One of the things that bothered me years ago was when they raised prices. I thought that was the it made me think that Apple didn't understand the outside world.
I think Apple needs to worry less about competing with Microsoft and worry more about doing things that are different. That's back to innovation. It's back to creativity. It's back to vision.
No one's really going to believe Apple can be successful until we get the revenues and the costs back in line, and that means we got to start growing the revenues again.
Companies have to look at everything they're doing and determine, what are core competencies, what are the core parts of the business.
In a sense, Apple is trying to do too many different things. We need to focus on a handful of things and do them really, really well.
Well, I was on the Citicorp board in 1991. The price of the stock was $9 a share, and there was many negative articles being written about Citicorp was going bankrupt. The price today is $130, mainly because we did the fundamental things that were necessary to focus on the customer and focus on having a highly successful business.
At Chrysler, we had to take nearly $4 billion out of the cost structure to get Chrysler fully competitive, particularly with the Japanese.
I've seen this at DuPont, I've seen it at IBM, I've seen it at Citicorp. The success starts to generate additional success.
Well, the confidence has to start with a clear vision. What are we trying to accomplish? What are we trying to do? You take that vision down to a strategy. People have to look at it and say, yes, they can do that.
When a company lacks the energy, you can't do anything to the company. So I think with Steve and the new board members, first thing we need to do is inject tremendous amount of new energy, new thoughts.
Apple has very strong positions in two market segments. First, education, and secondly, creative content.
What other computer system has 20 to 25 million loyal, enthusiastic, committed users? Just building on that base, recapturing their dedication and strength because we're bringing out great products.
Whenever you have a strong position in a market segment, you can capitalize on that.
Apple's the only lifestyle brand in the computer industry. It's the only company that people feel passionate about. My company, Oracle, it's a huge company. IBM's a huge company. Microsoft's a huge company. But no one has incredible emotions associated with our companies. Only Apple is really a lifestyle brand.
And companies can spend billions of dollars to build a brand. Apple does not have to do that. It's already been done.
The important thing is to build products that are wonderful and, or as Steve would say, insanely great. And it's time to start building insanely great products.
The biggest thing you can do is go out and buy a Mac.
Do I use a Mac? Absolutely, I use a Mac. I have 3 of them in my home.
I've been using a Mac since 1984, and I'm not about to stop.
I probably own every single machine that Apple had ever produced, and I can tell you, no one can change me in terms of personally what machine I will use. It's got to be a Mac.